So again, if you can control where you live, if you can control what your expenses are for a car, remember, team, you're not living a luxury life right now, right? This is for you to be able to maximize, exactly, how much how high your expenses are. This is for you to be able to maximize your income. You're gonna have to grind it out. You're gonna have to sacrifice, right? But those are the kind of things that I did because I wanted to be free. Again, at the time I didn't have any kids, right? But you control what you can control. I didn't have an expensive cell phone bill. I know that nowadays the phone bills can get highly expensive, but remember, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. You're going to have to make gradual changes. You're going to have to make gradual improvements, right? And at the time I had a job. Well, I had two jobs, right? And basically I was saving just simply $100 a week. That's all I could afford at the time, right? And for me, that was plenty. I once you figured that, hey, I could live with $100 less, somehow you're able to make it, right? There's no shame in your game being able to, sacrifice a little, put some money away. I didn't eat out all the time, right? I'm lucky I'm living with mom, so I was able to, have moms cook for me. If you don't have that benefit, if you don't have that luxury, trust me, I totally understand, right? Because maybe you need to find a roommate if needed, right? Again, maybe you need to downsize where you're living. Maybe you need to change your location. Maybe you need to take on an extra job. Maybe you need to change careers, right? So, some of us, and it's gonna vary, right? You're gonna have certain fixed costs, right? That I can think of, again, rent, a car payment, maybe you have insurance. I was very fortunate that I was able to be under my mom's insurance, so that saved me a ton of money, right? Some of us have student loans that we have to pay for, right? But the whole idea was that I could at least control what I could control, and that was if I could work extra hours, if I could work extra jobs while keeping my expenses low, I would. I was very fortunate that I never got myself into a credit card debt, right? Because for me, I just hate debt. I don't like it. I don't like owing anyone else money. I don't like working extremely hard to then give that money to the bank. So I was able to keep myself out of credit card debt, right? Now, we all have priorities every month, right? And maybe you need to pick out a few things that are priorities. Again, right, team, this is about sacrifice. And maybe we say, hey, maybe my priority is I need to make rent, I need to pay my car note, because by me paying rent and paying my car note, I can make it into work and I have a place to stay. If those two things, and I would just keep it to a minimum, if those two things are a priority, make sure that you focus all on that, right? Anything else that you can, try to cut out, right? Again, I understand we need a cell phone bill, we need internet nowadays, but maybe you don't need so many subscriptions. Maybe you don't need to eat out all the time, right? Again, these are not things that are going to make you rich, and we're not here to make you rich. We're here to, give you freedom, right? And maybe by cutting out some of those things, you'll be able to realize that your money can go a little bit further, right? Again, we're not looking for gradual changes. It's not going to happen right away. We're looking at, okay, well, what are some things that I could cut out that at least it keeps more money in my pocket? Maybe it just keeps you from drowning. Maybe it keeps you, above water for now. And that's how I was, right? I didn't have the opportunity that I have today, thank goodness, right? But it all started by me making these small, gradual changes in the way that I looked at money, in the way that I looked at the way that I wanted to live, and what kind of future that I want to have, not just for myself but for my family. Okay,